together off the floor, because again, it's really important with so many new faces to get everybody more connected in a short period of time. But I've been pleased with the summer to date. Like I said, we still have some work to do, and we're trying to make the most out of every second minute that the NCAA allow us to be out there working together.
They all weigh a little bit more, and Dan said he jumps a little bit higher, which is kind of scary because it brings rain as it is. So,
We say this all the time. People maybe think it's a line, but we do have the best strength conditioning program in the country. Mike Rayfeld, I can't imagine there's a better strength coach, performance coach than Mike Rayfeld. And if you just look at the guys that have worked with him in a short period of time, their improvement, and then the guys that work with him over a long period of time, it's incredible. And it's every single player in our program. We're looking at Jameel Reynolds, who got here 6-7 weeks ago, and his body's been transformed. But what's more impactful is the guys that have been working with him for a year, 2 years. Not just how much stronger they are or how much better they move, but their coordination and their timing. I mean, he really does help develop them in every physical way.
7 new additions this offseason. Just talk about what you've seen from those guys.
All right, 7's right? He's when I was down right. That's what I thought.
But what have you seen from those guys here throughout this summer as they make that transition to Cincinnati?
Again, I think to date everybody's come in with the right attitude and the right mindset. They've come in with a work-like mentality. I think over the last 2 years, the guys that have been here have helped set a foundation of how we work every day. And the guys that have walked through the door have jumped right into that and fit into that mentality and approach. They've been willing to learn. We got guys that have played college basketball at other places and had a lot of success and have a lot of experience, but they've come in humble and ready to learn the way that we do things at Cincinnati. And so I think that's helped, because when you have somebody, and I'll give CJ Frederick as an example, he's played in NCAA tournaments. He's had a lot of success. He's played for great coaches and played with great players. But for him to come in humble and ready to learn from the guys that have been in this program, that's been important to building the right kind of culture on this team.
Wes, looking at the makeup of this team and the different skill sets, how does that versatility allow you to do different things schematically?
I'm sorry? How does that
the different skill sets, how does that allow you to do different things schematically at both ends of the floor?
Yeah, it certainly feels like we have a tremendous amount of depth this summer, and we're going to have the ability to play different types of lineups and use guys in different ways. One of the things as a coaching staff we're trying to do is learn our team. You use the summertime. You're trying to really set a foundation for how you play defensively and put your defensive principles in. You're really setting a foundation for your transition offensive game and your flow offensive game, like your base foundational principles you're working on. But within that, you're also trying to learn your team a little bit. I found as a coach, sometimes they teach you things in the summertime by just letting them play a little bit. We're learning some things about them that maybe we didn't know, and I think that'll shape the way that we play in some really intricate ways as we move through the fall and into preseason practice.
You had a quick turnaround today. Obviously, yesterday you were in New York at the Rucker Park Big 12 Hoops in the Park event. Just walk us through what that experience was like for you a little bit as well.
It was cool. I've been really impressed with the Big 12. Our commissioner, Brett Gormack, I've been around him a couple times and listened to him talk about his vision for the league and his vision for basketball, and it's innovative. Really helped me. It's the one thing I like. He recognizes the success of the league to date. It's the best basketball league in the country. The numbers say it. The analysts say it. It's obvious when you look at it. He recognizes that and recognizes that there's some things there that you don't have to mess with, but he thinks about new and innovative ways to get that message out and to get our league out to different parts of the country and parts of the world. And I'm really impressed there that the Big 12 just does things first class, right? So bringing us to New York, having us where I've never been to Rucker Park before. As a basketball junkie, that was pretty neat for me. But working with kids and with other coaches in the league, it was neat. It was a cool experience. But I am glad to be back so I can get to work with my guys again.
What's impressed you most about Jizzle James so far, Wes?
Yeah, Jizzle's, physically, he's not a freshman. I mean, he has a real physical impact on the game at his position. It's been really impressive. Some guys walk in the door as freshmen and they just look young physically, or their bodies maybe look young compared to guys that are juniors and seniors in college. Jizzle doesn't. Jizzle looks, physically like he belongs against anybody he's going to line up against. His competitive nature has jumped off the mat to us as a coaching staff and to his teammates. I mean, our teammates talk about his motor and his competitive energy, and it's been every day this summer. And I thought that when I recruited him, so I believe that'll continue. Like any freshman, there's some things he just doesn't know yet, and that's why this summer is really important to try to get him and Davion Thomas up to speed at one of the most important positions on the floor, right? And they're both super gifted. They're working their tails off, but we got to really get them up to speed in a quick way because that point guard position is really important to our team.
He made some crazy plays last night. He's something that they've not.
Wait, was there something going on last night while I was in New York?
Yeah, there was. Pretty interesting, actually. But the things he can do on the floor and
What was going on last night?
You mentioned Reynolds.
Are they playing out in the park somewhere or something?
Yeah. Anyway, any timetable on those guys getting eligible, or when, or if that might happen?
We're going through the process and the way that the NCAA is laid out for us to go through a process for a waiver for both of them. When you look at the criteria the NCAA laid out for a waiver process, we believe this as we got to know them through the recruiting process that they meet that criteria. But out of respect for them personally, there's not a whole lot more I can say about it other than there's a process the NCAA lays out. We believe they meet the criteria for that process, and we'll continue to go through that process. I don't have a timetable. That'd be more of a question for the NCAA, a broader question, but I don't expect that we'll hear anything back in the near future. I think it'll go into the fall.
When you walk out of the tunnel for tip-off for this one, December 16th, what do you expect this place to look and sound like?
Yeah, one thing that has blown me away in the 2 years that I've been coaching here is the support of our fans. Every once in a while you think it's Christmas break and nobody's going to show up, and you walk out, there's 10, 11,000 people in Fifth Third when you didn't think there'd be 5. So I think you play a local game against another great program that has a lot of support in the area. It's in downtown Cincinnati. You expect to show up and to have a great atmosphere. And selfishly, I expect our fans to drown out those Dayton fans, right? I expect us to have a much bigger influence from a fan perspective. And then we hopefully it's 70% UC in there, and then we got to make sure that when we walk out there, if it's that way, that our players understand that if the kind of support they're giving us, we better give them that kind of effort in return.